personal laptop, right? Or could it be that I want a car, right? What in the next 2 years do you want? What? Some examples of short-term save. Some things that you can save for short terms are, anybody?
Money.
What? Money? You want to save for more
Bills.
money?
Water.
What do you mean?
You have to save money
Uh-huh.
in order to pay your bills. But that's like every month.
That is every month, so it's not really that you have to save money, it's that you have to what? Make money. You gotta make money, right?
Clothes.
Yes, clothes. So unless you're, yes, you can say that, right? If you're trying to save up more to invest it, which he's gonna talk about next lesson, right? To have more money, right? So a car, like we said, vacation, right? Because if we put any type of vacations on a credit card, then we're all just tripping because we're gonna have to work hard coming back, right? Having to pay that, all of that off. Because you know when you go on vacation, there's always like extra stuff you want to do. You know, always things you want to try that you never tried before. Excursions, you're like, yeah. Oh, that's the extra whatever, yeah. Swipe. No, you gotta plan those things and put the money aside. Childbirth, clothes. Well, this is for when you guys get older. Yeah, not anytime, anywhere soon.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
Clothing, right? If you wanted to like revamp your look, right? Say you've always had like this certain type of look and you decided one day, man, I'm tired of sneakers. I want my grown man stuff on, right? So you want your Clarks and your dress pants and your button-ups, right? Yeah, so you revamping your wardrobe can get expensive. So you want to save up for that.
Sometimes I think about like, you know, like them office jobs and how they be dressed in like business attire. I want that.
Well, you're gonna need it, right? Because when you start going to interviews and stuff, and you don't need a lot, you just need like one nice blazer and some button and some nice slacks, and you just know how to present yourself when you go to start interviewing for your first job and stuff, right?
Oh no, I don't like business attire.
So I like it too. It's pretty. All right. What else? Is there anything else that we missed on this list that we could do? Save for between 1 to 2 years?
Jewelry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Put that in my bottle watch. Hint.
All right. So a good place to put your short-term savings is in a money market bank account, and we spoke about this last class, last before that, right? The different type of bank accounts, right? So
Is that, you skip one?
which one?
Long-term.
We're not there yet.
Oh, because it says a good place.
Short-term.
Okay.
Like under short term jobs.
We're at short-term. Long-term is next.
Oh, that's wow.
Now we're at long-term. So when you save for long-term, you're saving between 2 to 5 years, right? Or longer. So long-term is what we're talking about. Longer period of time, right? 2 to 5 years. What are some examples of things we could save for when you're talking long-term savings? Yes. Yep. Yep. Especially if it's a more expensive one, right?
Kids.
It's the savings never stop with y'all. Y'all always need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so expensive.
So a house, very
Y'all
good.
are appreciating that.
Retirement, right? Remember when we said, well, as soon as we start working, we want to start investing in retirement, right? College. It's never too early to start saving, putting money aside for college. And also work while you are in school because that helps you prioritize your time better and lower your costs.
Let me ask you a question. Do you guys think that is your parents' responsibility to pay for college loans?
No, they want to also badly. Because it'll help. It's only gonna help me a little bit in the beginning.
until you like not graduate in that fourth year and you be like,
But guess what? At the end of the day, especially if they don't take out a Parent Plus loan or a parent loan, you're gonna be responsible for all that money, to pay all that money back, not your parents.
if you borrow it, which is why it's good to save up.
Exactly.
What else could you possibly save for 2 to 5 years that we haven't covered? Any,
Like your, a good job, like your own business.
very good. That's actually a really good idea, right? Because launching your business takes some type of equity to get started. A good place to put your long-term savings is in a nice mutual fund with good growth potential, right? And we're gonna hit on that word invested. But especially if you're aiming more towards your 5 years, mutual funds are a great place to put it because you're gonna have higher interest rates on those. All right, emergency funds, right? These are important. And I implore you guys to start your emergency fund on the lower end. Your savings goal should be $500, right? That's what your personal savings goal should be. So anytime you guys get money, and it could be a long-term savings because it's not like you guys are working right now, right? Unless you are. But every time you guys get money, put a portion of that aside to start your personal emergency fund.
Question. Do you guys, so if you have money in your savings account, right, and you all are young, so you have to have your saving or your bank account with your parents.
Yeah.
Do you guys feel that, yeah, you do. Do you guys feel that if you save up enough money, your parents will go in that account and take it? Does
No,
anyone feel that way in here?
no, my mom knows
I
that.
like invested in something. Probably invested or
To invest it?
yeah.
My mom knows better. I have everything on my phone, so I get a notification. You know, I say something.
So you know.
Yeah.
I'm watching you and I'm watching it.
Because we taught this class in New Haven, and that was one thing that the kids were saying, that if they save up enough money, their parents will just go and take it.
Well, but I do believe, when, like, you know, when I was younger, birthday money, whenever I would get it, my parents would hold it, and then it would just go.
I didn't feel like that.
Yeah.
I used to sleep with my money too, like
You used to
like
sleep
under
with
my
it?
pillow. Like my mom knew. I don't feel like that.
It's-
I'm serious about mine.
I don't feel like that.
I had like 3K, and 3K in my savings account, and he only took out 2K. That's what I don't
Oh.
So like saving invest, like if you take that 2K and save invest in my account.
What?
Yeah.
For
I got
herself,
watch what he does with it.
it's-
He said,
I know what he's talking about. I do know what it is.
the average American does not have enough to cover a $500 to $1,000 emergency. We spoke about this, right? A fully funded emergency should cover between 3 to 6 months of living expenses. Is this supposed to be highlighted? Like, what the hell happens to all my changes all the time? I don't understand.
No, that's right.
Yeah, what happened?
It's golden.
Yeah, no, I
Oh, my face.
so then the sarcasm is on this.
Unnecessary.
Very necessary.
How do you know how much 3 to 6 months of living expenses are?
You just highlighted the wrong one.
Oh,
Yes.
I'm food.
Good, you're getting there. Who else has their hands up? Yes,
What was the question again?
it's right there. Yes. So remember, if we're doing a monthly budget, we know how much it is that we need to survive on a monthly basis, right? By itemizing each thing, like, okay, so if it takes $2,000 a month for us to live off of, then all we're doing is multiplying the 2 by 6, right? And that's gonna give us what we need for the 6 months of living expenses in case life happens, right? Like, for instance, this pandemic happened, right? There are a lot of people that got sick, lost jobs, what is the word? Something.
He said that. Deported.
I was gonna say divorce.
Disintegrated.
No, what, maybe it's not you. You know when they got, let go for a little bit.
You got laid off.
Yeah, okay, well, that's not the word, but anyway, there were a lot of people that because businesses couldn't open and they weren't doing anything, furloughed. Definitely not you, definitely a F, my bad. So, it's good to have an emergency fund because you just never know what's gonna happen, right? Your budget is gonna tell you how much you need. So, the sinking fund approach. The sinking fund approach is an approach that we use when we're trying to purchase large items, right? So the best way to purchase large items without going into debt is to use this approach. That means that we're going to avoid financing things, right? Using credit cards and everything. That means that we're going to delay our gratification, right? And we're going to be patient and save up for it. So, in 5 years you need a new car, right? Number one, figure out how much money you want to spend on that new car. How long do you want to save for? How much money do you want to set aside every month to put towards this new car savings? And then you're going to sell your items gradually and move up, right? So these are your 4 steps when it comes to your sinking fund approach. So, first thing, figure out how much money you want to spend on a new car. Your current car is worth $1,000, right? This is like your first.
In the current spot though.
Where?
It says I want a blank car to replace my current blank car.
Oh, I don't know.
That's the current car, the 1,000, right in that area.
Yeah.
I'm not dumb.
So your current car is worth $1,000, right? This is your first hoopty to get you from point A to point B. It's doing you good, but you're like, man, you started working now, you're making decent money, and you're like, eventually I'm gonna want a new car, but I don't want to go into debt because I know what debt can do, right? So.
$17,000 from 1,000. In the world.
You're working now, so you want to upgrade, right? But it's not going to be an instantaneous upgrade, right?
And you want a car that
So,
has AC in it, the
The
doors.
car you want costs $70,000. How long do you want to save for, right? You're like, okay, this is the car I'm envisioning. How long do I want to save for? 5 years. So you're like, in the next 5 years, I should have this car, and guess what? When we're working, are we gonna be at the same income during that entire 5 years?
No.
No, right? I'm hoping that we're doing good enough that we're getting raises, right? How much money do you wanna set aside every month? This is all math, right? The car is worth $17,000, 5 years is 60 months. Now, instead of taking out a loan, going and financing the car for 60 months, we're basically gonna finance it through ourselves by saving all that money, right? So you divide the 17,000 by the 60. So you have $283 a month. That's how much money you're gonna be putting aside, right? But currently where you are, you can only save $250 per month out of your check, right? $250 per month. So, sell your items and move up gradually, and this is one approach that you can use, right? Year 1, 250 by 12. So in year 1, you've saved up $3,000, right? $3,000, that's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
You sell your, I'm sorry?
You know that. I thought it was 283.
Yes, that's 283 is what it's divided by.
So if you divide 17,000 by 60 months.
Wait, so what are we putting each month?
Each month you say.
So each month we're saying that, yeah, 250
Oh.
because the 283 was a little bit too much.
Sometimes.
That's what it would, for if we were doing it exactly like we had that much, but currently in our budget, we don't have that much, right? You can only save the 250.
Oh, I didn't see that.
24 months.
So, in year one, we saved up to $250, right? 250 by 12, that's $3,000, right? So what you do after year one is you sell your current car that's worth $1,000, but you sell it for $800 because we know things depreciate, right? We know what depreciate means. Depreciate means that it goes down in value over time, right? And it doesn't matter what it is. The moment you go onto a car lot and you buy a 2022 car, the moment that you drive out of there, it starts depreciating. That's just how it is, right? So you're able to sell your $1,000 car for $800, which is like, ching, you only lost $200, sweet. So now your new total is $3,000 plus $800. So you have $3,800, right? And this is where you sell and gradually move up. So you take the $3,800 and you purchase a new car, right?
A newer car than what you had.
So you upgrade into a $3,800 car from your $1,000 car.
Wait, what do we put in the 24 months one?
3,000.
Oh. I would not be able to.
Year two, same thing. You do it again, right? So year two, you're taking your $250 that you saved up, and you over the year you've saved up another $3,000. Now you sell your current car for the $3,500 because you're like, all right, I see something else that I want. I'm gonna move up gradually again. You get it for $3,500, right? Now, your new savings of the extra $3,000 plus what you sold your older car for, now you have $6,500. We know we can get a pretty decent car for $6,500, right? Like a really nice. So you upgrade into a $6,500 car.
A newer one.
They run forever. You do the same thing in year three, right? Same process. So now we have a $9,200 car that we've upgraded ourselves into, right? Because we repeated the same thing, because we stuck to it and we've been disciplined enough to save another $250 for the year. Year four, same thing again. Sell that car, we make a little bit more, and now we are into a $11,800 car. Now, we've come to year five. We've come to the end of our goal. It's been 5 years and we've gradually upgraded the cars each year until we reach where we want to be, right? Our 5-year goal. So now, our car that's worth $11,800, we sell for $11,600. We've only had it a year, so we haven't really put that much mileage on it, right? We add our extra $3,000 that we've been saving up, right? And so now we have $14,600 to upgrade in our car. You're a bit short of your goal. What do you do? What do you do? Because remember, initially, how much did we want? How much was the car?
17.
17. And we're at 14,600. Right?
You have
Let's say,
two 2,400?
It's not that, yeah, it's not that much that we're off, right? So, try to negotiate the price down, save up a bit longer, keep your current car until you save up, because you've instilled the habit, or at this point, because you are, at this point, because you have instilled, coughing over the years, she likes scoot over.
I didn't call. I called.
I
It's not
didn't
calling.
call.
I'm choking. That's the difference.
Everybody know what?
You instill this habit, right?
You just make
And mind you, you've gotten raises at this point, so you could have probably are also have extra savings at this point too, right? So you really got to think, okay, what do I want to do, right? And what steps do I want to take next when it comes to getting the car that you want? And I'm pretty sure that car that you've been eyeing, they'll be willing to negotiate it, right? Because it has been a set period of time. It's probably worth the 14.6 that we're at now. Do we understand the single fund approach? Yes.
So, since people have to pay like car taxes or whatever a month,
So no.
are they paying? So are the car taxes for paying off the car?
Mhm.
Oh, so you have to give like that 17,000 right then and there, and then you have to pay your taxes afterwards.
So
they
there's
calculate everything into it when it comes to like when you're buying the car. But once you purchase the car, the next year after that, you still gotta pay taxes on it.
So, there's two different things when it comes to taxes, right? When you purchase anything in the state of Connecticut, you pay sales tax on it, right? So when you purchase that car, they're gonna charge you sales tax for that car. So the dealership, they got paid, they're good, you're off on your way. Now, car tax is what your town is gonna charge you for having the car on their roads.
Oh.
So every single year that you own that vehicle, the town is gonna charge you tax. That doesn't go towards paying off your car. It's just literally money that you pay that goes to the town for upkeep of the roads and all that stuff like that.
And they still bumpy.
Yeah, there you go.
What about
Yeah, you get, yo, chill, Siri. She a snitch.
Any questions? Do we understand? So that's one way to deal with the sinking fund approach. Another way is, for example, if you own a house and, usually when we purchase a house, we're purchasing the house on a 30-year note, right? And we purchased the house, and when we purchased the house, the roof was, say, 10 years old. And we're like, okay, well, we know that we're gonna eventually need to put a new roof on there, right? You shop around for the roof that you want, and you realize, okay, well, this new roof is gonna cost like $15,000, right? What do? You're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go into a savings goal, save up $100 per month, right? You get $1,200 for the year, and then you just keep doing that until you reach the $15,000, and you're like, okay, hey, I'm ready to get my roof done now, which whatever roof company you wanted to utilize, right? And you don't have to worry about, financing it, going into any debt with it. You already had that money set aside to do that project, and now you could get a brand new roof and feel more secure for another 30 years to come, right?
And like, nope, labor and material went out. We gave you this quote 10 years ago.
Anyways, so savings. 10 tips on savings. So one thing you can do, because we're not natural savers, right, is to use automated tools. Anybody ever heard of the Acorn app?
Yeah,
Acorn? Yeah, you've seen it and heard about it, right?
my dad used to.
Yeah. So when you spend money, Acorn rounds up to the nearest dollar and invests it for you. For example, you spend $3.75, Acorn will round it up to $4 and invest the 25 cents for you. Now it's small, but
A little goes a long way.
exactly. No, seriously, it does.
Definitely.
Especially when you're investing it in. We also don't realize how much, when we're not using cash, how much we're actually like swiping our debit cards a lot, right?
But if you just like talk,
So it does add up, and you'll be surprised. Some banks will offer the same thing as well, just a matter of, what bank, and you just gotta ask them, do they offer this? Instead of investing it for you, what they'll do is just put it into your savings account. Save your change. Any spare change you have at the end of the day, place it in a piggy bank at home, right? We use a 5-gallon water jug and we put loose change in it.
You do?
Mhm.
My mom got that in her way.
Yeah,
That too.
yeah, ours is like halfway up there. But any spare change you have, just put it aside. You'll be surprised, you know, when it's time for you to cash those change in, how much you've saved up. Find discount on your entertainment, right? We all like to go out with friends? Yes, we do. Going to the movies during matinee, when it's cheaper, that's a discount, right? Asking for student discounts, do not be afraid to pull out your student IDs.
Yeah, I got those, right?
1, 2, 3, 2, 5.
No, they didn't give you that student IDs?
I do.
You have one.
Because of COVID, we didn't take pictures and stuff like
You ain't got an old
I
one?
got my middle school
that. Yeah, I
one.
know that's one.
Yeah, use it.
I look a mess.
Ari just
Wait,
got
what y'all,
hers.
freshmen?
No,
So y'all don't have freshman ones?
no,
They didn't
because
take
COVID.
pictures last year.
Oh, yeah, my bad. You're right.
Ari just got hers.
Oh, I'm see it.
Middle school one. Track your spending.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to make sure that you do use your budget and utilize it. Set saving goals. Like I said, your first goal should be your emergency fund, $500. Use the SMART goal method, right?
You got a question?
Set a limit.
Stretch it.
Set a limit. If your limit is $1,500, then you know, okay, that's what I'm gonna save towards, right? But as far as where you at now, you should at least say, all right, my savings goal is gonna be $500, right? You need to have at least that in the bank account for yourself. 6, use the sinking fund approach for any big purchases, right? Restrict online shopping. Who in here likes to use online shopping? Shein,
Yep,
Right?
looking at you.
yeah. Stay on Amazon,
She said
right?
she going personal.
Cap.
StockX, what's that?
Oh,
Oh, that's the sneaker joint.
It gets so tempting because you're so comfortable in bed and you just distro and distro. Oh, purchase.
I go to Google and I put restaurants near me. And I-
Avoid debt, right? Your objectives in life as you move further in your life and careers is to avoid debt. That means that there's no reason for you guys to take, so the average person probably has like 10 credit cards, right? Ridiculous. Like, why do you need all of that? There's no reason for you to have all of that, right? Try your best to pay for everything upfront with cash. And if you're going to utilize any type of card, use it for things that you know that you're gonna have to pay for anyway, right? It's like, all right, well, I got to drive, I'm working, I gotta drive to work, I just put gas in the car, that's what I'm gonna put on this card, that's it, right? And you know that you're gonna have the money to pay it off at the end of the month. Because if you allow that debt to just continue rolling and get bigger and bigger, you're gonna find yourself in a hole and it gets really depressing and you don't wanna be there. Use the 30-day rule, especially on huge purchases, right? When you want to make a large purchase, think on it first. Write down what it is and how much it costs. And after 30 days, you still feel it's necessary, then you purchase it, right? Like, don't be the first one in line for some brand new sneakers that dropped, right?
I'm selling the PlayStation 5, just to let y'all know, so you have to think about that.
Think about it.
You said your son was a PlayStation 5. Why would I buy one of these? I don't know what you do.
Sell your extra
I
stuff.
can say I'm selling the Xbox and just give you something.
Don't I have an extra PS5?
You do, but that's not the time right now. Sell your extra stuff, right?
Yep.
Anybody like
That's what I'm trying to do right
Play-Doh's
now. I'm trying to
closet?
sell it.
Play-Doh's closet? No, so it's like a
My
consignment
closet.
shop for clothes. Like,
Yeah,
so it's
PS5,
be
50.
quiet.
I'm trying to say I
You
got a
said
PS5 for
850.
$850. I'm telling you, people. listen.
So you sell your extra stuff, right? So if you have clothes that you don't gently use, clothes that you haven't, that you want to get
People
rid of,
want that. I'm just saying, I'm trying to sell my stuff. I'm going with the tips.
all of it.
Thank you, yes.
All of
yes.
it is on
I'm
there.
reporting you.
Good.
Domestic abuse.
All right, so let's turn to page 27 and take our quiz.
Yay.
You got number 3. I don't even know what it is, but you got number 3.
You got number 5. I don't know what it is, but you got it.
You better know what it is.
That's my book.
You need a pencil? They got 5 minutes. It's 6:15 right now. Actually, I'm lying. It's 6:16. So yeah, I got 4 minutes.
Yeah, we still have 5 minutes.
You should have been paying attention. You don't need no notes.
Those help the brain. That's what Google said.
Go Google now. What was the beginning of the today?
Taco Bell. That's what they wanted.
There's nobody else doing this.
Okay, well.
Come with your You keep complaining.
Some practice.
Stop complaining. You wanted to play the sport.
I told you that I was on my ankle.
I'm sorry, you're walking regular.
I had to coach you, but you're not playing.
You're walking perfectly fine. Well, I'm gonna take you to
How much else?
not the coffee.
Number, how much it cost you to get on that? Like 13 grand, right? I just tried it. Oh, you pay 13?
Yeah.
Huh?
I need stop.
Are we all set?
This is.
They still got 2 minutes.
You pay for the teamwork? Your basketball team?
I think we're all done.
We're all freshmen and we're like,
Garbage.
you 6 people.
Yeah, well, anybody.
Who'd like to answer number 1?
I love
I think so, right?
Does money market
For,
account, wait,
We started, fellas.
does a money market account have better interest rate than regular bank savings? I read true. I don't know.
Does everyone agree?
No, I put false.
I don't know. I just put something random.
Read it again?
Does a money market account have a better interest rate than a regular bank savings account?
And you guys put false?
No, I put true.
You lie, boy.
I swear to God, I put true.
You just said you put false.
Cause he had fools, that's why I risked him.
Oh, so you looking at somebody else?
Yeah. Yes.
For real.
Yes, it does, right? So,
Is it the amount of money that goes in quicker? Like, what does that
So
mean?
it's true.
money market account. So let's think back to our banking lesson in this lesson when we talked about it's a good place to put your short-term savings, right? Your regular bank account will give you like a 0.002 interest rate, or your money market account where you have to have a little higher amount in the account will give you a slightly better interest rate, right? Maybe like a 0.1 instead of 0.002, right? So it'll give you like a better interest rate than your normal everyday savings account from the bank. So the answer is true.
Yeah, got it.
Number 2, are you supposed to be number 3?
Yeah, you're number 3, bro.
I'm snitching, bro.
Who's doing number 2?
You whacking at me. I don't like it.
Go ahead.
Having a credit card is the same as having an emergency fund, except false.
Yeah. Do we agree?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is absolutely correct.
Oh, she was right for long.
No, we do not use credit cards as emergency funds. Number 3. Yes, thank you.
3 to 6 months.
No, we don't know what you're talking about.
How many months should a fully funded emergency fund cover? I said 3 to 6 months.
These are from countries. Do we all agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
That is correct, good job.
You do.
Number 4, What are you looking at?
What is the range that most Americans cannot cover for an emergency? I put 500 to 1,000.
Yeah.
Do we all agree?
Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. Good job. And lastly, number 5.
I'm looking through the files. Yeah, what was it? Me? Nene.
Who thought it was I? She said, go ahead.
What is it? Sinking from the Bruce. I said C-A. That's just behind it. Wait, I didn't say. No, my fault. I put A.
I put B. I put A. Can't put B.
You gotta read it. I don't know what A is.
Method to spend money before you use it.
I said B.
What's B?
And that's to save on future purchases.
B is correct. Not even gonna ask who got what. All right.
You know the moves.
Yeah, because when I dunk them, you want me to do all of them.
I thought we were gonna do it investing next.
And you work?
Huh?
You said what?
I thought we were doing investing next class.
This is next class.
No. Oh.
Look, these better.
All right, so we're gonna start with investing, and then when the food comes, we're gonna come to a halt and eat. It's my turn. Give me some pop. What you give me for? Again,
Give you some
please.
power.
Hold on. Anybody got some powder? Oh, yeah.
Sorry, but you did not eat.
Nice.
Who was
At
excited?
What are you talking about? That's my powder, my LeBron.
You ate.
Nah.
I'm gonna bring some powder to class next class. Throw that up in the air real quick.
You can't eat at all.
I'm
Take
actually
the
quite
plate away. The plate is still on the
The
table.
plate
is still there.
Table collapsed, food expired.
Full of food.
It's funny.
It's funny she laughing.
How's she getting home tonight? Exactly.
She can
Fellas, first of all, y'all need to help me out. Y'all over here quiet, and all 8 of them is like attacking me.
8. No one's attaching me. Right, we're just on the shoe.
No.
Look,
It's
see, he on our side.
8. I'm telling you,
That's 5 now.
What's the other 4 people?
it's 2 of them. They got doppelgangers.
They're 4. I'm complete.
So there's 2, and I'll put it on the lizard.
All right. So now that you're here, we can get started.
Yeah.
All right. So investing. So what we're gonna cover today is what is the stock market?
Ooh.
What are stocks, bonds, and mutual funds? How to invest? What does it mean to be bullish, bearish? What is simple interest? What is compound interest? So investing is a very important tool to have while you're building your wealth. You know why? Because that's where a lot of people can actually go from dollaronaires to millionaires.
$1.
Because y'all only got a couple days. Nope, I made it up. But do we know that there's different type of investing? Can anyone name, give me some different types of investing. Cryptocurrency, yes.
Stocks.
Stocks, yes.
Apple stocks.
That's stocks. Real estate, yes.
Bitcoin.
That's crypto. Boy, you just saying what they saying. You just breaking it down more. Right?
Bonds? I
Yeah, bonds, yes.
don't know. I looked
Funding.
at the paper.
All right, so you can invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, currency, cryptocurrency, and real
What is
estate.
that?
What is what?
Cryptocurrency.
Cryptocurrency is, have you ever heard of Bitcoin?
I heard.
Or a dog coin? They have a dog. So what cryptocurrency is literally what it is. It's currency, it's money, but it's only online, right? It's virtual. So you won't have tangible money. You know what tangible means, right? Tangible means something that you can actually put in your hand and you can touch and you can feel. Cryptocurrency is not that. So if you say had 1 Bitcoin, it would literally be somewhere on either a hard drive, on your computer, on an app. but you can't hold it in your pocket.
Can you buy a house if you have like one of those cards that they give you with cryptocurrency?
Yeah, because what they do is, if you have enough and you have the card then transforms the cryptocurrency in a sense as regular currency. So what they do is because Bitcoin right now, I checked, is worth $66,000 for one coin.
How much is Amazon? Because I know that stock is good.
Yeah, Amazon is about, I don't know, I haven't checked last time. It's probably like in the $5,000, $6,000.
See, that's the only problem. It's mad expensive to get in it.
Well, and that's what I'm about to teach y'all, that it's really not. I'm gonna teach y'all.
I mean, you gain from it. You could gain that back.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, so if you do have that card, it's probably backed by, say Visa or MasterCard. And now what they do is if you have that money in your account, they can then transform or convert that Bitcoin money into regular money. So when you spend it, whatever percent you have is, then depleted because you spent it.
Okay.
So today we're going to discuss stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. What you say, bro? It's not wrinkled from the back because I've been sitting down. I told her. All right. What's a stock? Don't look in the book. You said you knew what the stocks are.
It's like
Stock market.
Oh, what's the stock market? My bad. I forgot the market part.
it's like I don't know. How do I explain it? It's like the business's income and
Make it in there. You want
Businesses shares that's offered to like the public.
Yes, that's what stocks are. Yes, but what is the stock market?
Where you can buy the businesses shares.
There you go.
oh,
Just like any market,
easy way to put it.
has anyone ever been to Stop and Shop?
Yeah.
Has anyone ever been to Aldi's?
Mhm.
What are those places? Those are what? Grocery? All right, when you walk in there, does Aldi make and manufacture every single product in that store?
No.
No. What do? They have other companies then give them those products. Then you walk in there and you choose which products you want, right?
Stop and Shop got a lot of that.
Exactly. That's what the stock market is, right? The stock market is the place that publicly traded companies put shares called stocks on sale so that people like us can purchase. And here is the financial definition for it. So the stock market is a place where publicly traded companies gather together to sell portions of their companies in shares known as stocks. As short as the stock market is a place where publicly traded companies gather together to sell portions of their companies in shares known as stocks. Is that short enough?
That's the right thing. One did like that.
You only got 2 words. I have 3 words, mister.
Why do you like this? Right. Hey, you do this at school?
Mr. Lee.
Yes.
I bet you do it.
I was just going to do
Why you worrying about me? What about that other?
that. You need to worry about yourself because you can believe. Still going?
What you
I say the same color as this.
Oh. Now that's it. That's your brother.
Right.
It's not.
Rush. Don't make it take long. You know what's
Left-handed.
now, like,
Everyone's right-handed?
I'm left-handed.
You're ambidextrous?
I don't want to do it. There's some things I can do with my left hand that I can't do with my right, but my right hand is dominant.
I can do, well, I can do some things with my left hand.
I was gonna say,
So I play
I play like volleyball, right? I can't tip with my right hand. I can only do with my left, and then sometimes I hit with my left hand. It's just weird.
I can dribble with my left hand.
I ain't hard. Yeah, I can throw with my left hand, and I throw left side.
I can shoot a little with my left hand.
Oh, my bad, bro.
You did, bro.
But I don't know how to write my left hand.
Yeah.
I wish.
I mean,
I mean, that's something that if you, as a child, if you were taught that, then you'd be able to use both hands. All right, we good? Okay. So what are stocks then? Huh? What did you say? What did you say? Oh,
Oh, I know.
what is it? Go ahead.
You thought you ate. Give me that.
What are stocks?
Fire.
There you go.
Oh, wow.
So what are stocks?
I really don't know.
All right, so stocks are, and this is the financial definition, but I'll break it down for you. So a stock is a type of security that signifies ownership in a corporation and represents a claim on part of that corporation's assets and earnings. So, layman terms, all that means is a stock is a single share of ownership that you can purchase within a company, right? So once you purchase that single share of stock, guess what? You are part owner of that company. So for instance, for example, Nike stock is trading at $100 a share.
That's not bad.
So what does that mean?
I mean, you put in 100,
Mhm.
and then do you gain more from that 100, or do you start from scratch?
Well, I mean, so let's just tackle this. So if Nike stock is trading at $100 this year, how much do you need to use to purchase? I mean, that you're first owner in Nike. You have one share in Nike, right? So, and so what you were saying, which you're absolutely correct, you purchase one share of Nike for $100. If Nike stocks increase to $150, how much profit did you make?
$50.
Exactly, right? Now, you just made $50. And then, you get your money back. Or two, you can sell it and just take the loss, right? Or minimize your loss.
So if it is doing good and you got a lot of money, you can take it out at any time?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So, on to that point. If Nike stock went from $100 a share and Nike came out with this new technology, right? That they made some sneakers that if you wear it, it can transport you from Boston to New York in 3 seconds, right? That's ridiculous. But if they ever did that, Nike company, their shares would skyrocket, right? So $100 a share, their company is probably, if they had that technology, it'd probably be like Berkshire Hathaway stocks. One Berkshire Hathaway stock is like $100,000 for one, right? So Nike just went from $100 to $100,000, right? For this new technology. And if you had one share of Nike stock, how much money would you have?
like,
$20.
wait, if you have one share and
If you paid $100 for Nike stock and it went from $100 to $100,000.
you would have 99,000.
Well, you would have $100,000, correct? But yeah, your profit would be $99,000, right?
Yeah.
Is that your money?
No, you gotta split it somehow.
No. Like, so if you looked at your app, you look at your Nike stock, and it shows $100,000, right? Do you have $100,000?
Oh, the business got $100,000.
Do you have the 100,000? Yes? No? How do you get that money?
Because I told them to write which one was which. Because see, there's chicken, there's beef, there's crunchy, there's soft. You can clearly feel which one is crunchy and soft.
Yeah.
But
The meat.
I can shoot.
thank you.
Y'all gonna have to play,
It's like Russian roulette, or opening and trading with your neighbors.
I'm brown skin, please, do not compare me to a nigga.
Then I'm dead again. So the kids just get now it's mad at
why is there pencil on the floor?
When this time?
Why would you look at me?
What he said.
Full time,
Wait,
Yes.
sufficient full time.
what you?
Joshua, Elijah,
I like news.
Chandler, News,
What is it?
and Kendra.
You said hi.
Yes, you're not in trouble.
You need what?
Oh, that's the letter for the thingy.
You talked to my mama already.
Yeah, didn't you text my dad?
No, you got a letter.
All right.
Kendra,
I said, did he talk to
Are
me?
you eating?
Kendra,
Yeah, my dad.
yes, please. I'm going to speak to someone from Channel 8 today, but we wanted to make sure that parents know about it, whatever. So I got all the releases signed, so we're gonna do it next week. Everybody good with that? Basically talk about what I said last week. We're gonna talk about gun violence, bullying, and why programs like this are good for you guys. So that's basically it. And you can say whatever you want. You can ask some questions, but conversation will go wherever y'all take it. All right? All right, eat up. We got more sodas in there.
It's
if you want.
6:40 now, so by 6:50, we're gonna get back into our lesson.
So while he's home, we don't come. Need some cups.
Need cups? I'm bad.
I was like, oh, they're being unhealthy and just drinking water. But ain't none of them open anymore.
I opened mine, mine's almost gone.
Rush it down it and then put the soda in the water bottle. Ha-ha. See, I gotta think. Ha-ha. What's that? Nate would love that shirt. Canada shirt. He loves brick and mortar. That's all he draws.
You never watched it,
He's never seen an episode, but he loves them. Because of Fortnite.
I do.
How old is he? He's too young to watch it.
I might do the food.
He's 7.
Sorry, y'all wasn't
Yeah.
gonna say nothing about cups?
That's what I'm saying. The women went up first and didn't say anything.
Yeah,
Because they drinking their water.
oh, yeah, they got more.
Not all of them. I knew that. athlete too. She's like, I've had enough water.
I drink water. I don't like, that's all I drink is water.
Oh,
No wonder it tastes like that.
I thought you loved taco, but
all right, let us eat.
so how you know you don't like it?
Because I know myself.
Yo, Taco Bell, I used to eat that every day when I used to work in Woodburn.
You get a burrito.
Yep.
Get that, boo. I know, I just said I was like, you ruined my hoodie. She was like, it's okay.
Wait, you ever had Chipotle?
No.
What about Moe's?
Moses butter too.
Yep.
But every time I come out, she was in the car every time I went to visit, that's all we do. And like at like they had like the scaffold, like you know the machine that you go in, they put tickets and it's like blowing around you grab stuff.
Who are you talking to?
Myself, apparently.
Yeah, because I was not listening.
Anyway,
I'm here.
thank you God. So yeah, like they had like you know how at Chuck E. Cheese they have a machine that like the tickets and stuff. But yeah, that one that you kind of had it with like gift cards and had like got a gift card.
Those things are. Oh, you actually got one?
Yeah,
Those things are like a ripoff.
Oh, I know what happened when I was at Buffalo Wild Wings. They added them in like a claw machine. Are you listening? They had a claw machine and there was beats in there and I won them. I swear, I still have them to this day. It was a while ago. But I won them the day they put the vending machine in.
Oh, because they didn't rig it yet.
It took me like 5 tries.
How much did you pay?
Like $7 for like I don't know what type the word out. I don't know.
I was watching this thing, it was a guy that he was like how to beat those machines. There's like a certain path that you have to take if you was drawing on the actual vending machine. I was like, yeah, let me try that. Let me try that.
My dad had to do the one my chemistry grade had to, but he put it in 250. And I was like, but I did that work. Maybe passed it that time, like, I wasn't gonna say nothing, but it was group work, so I'm like, well, everybody can do that in 50 cents. But they had gotten it, they didn't use it in 100. But I'm like, we had the same answer. So I went up to him and asked over, he was like, well, I could give you bump it up 10 more points, which would be a 60. I was like, no, and I went to principal and I told him. And he was like, he started shaking it. He went in there. And I was like, I don't care, like, change my grade to what it's supposed to be. I don't know.
What teacher is that?
Does he not like you? I don't know. I don't do nothing to him. My grades are good.
This is your junior year? You started meeting on your friend customer and stuff?
Yeah.
You were a little home, right? HBC. Did they say you have to do for it?
I need a whole lot of leadership. It generates. But that's never been a problem.
So are they recommending like places which means
I recommend any places. I haven't really looked at them though.
I don't like stop talking.
Here, there. All the walls are everybody. They all use it.
Steph,
Get that cash.
Jordan, you remember Jordan Emery? So I don't know if this is true or not, but he just hit me up. He said,
I know it.
Yeah.
You know, left it in the car.
You can still read it on that.
No, I see that.
And no service
He said, did you see the man formerly known as Matt Murray is now a she? She goes by Matilda Tilly Murray.
No.
I thought Matt was married.
Yeah. So what that mean?
Oh,
Yeah.
you know that.
Yes, I was waiting for somebody to open that.
Open what?
Orange soda.
Who loves orange soda? I love orange soda.
I should have like this. Really saying that.
It's like 90s.
You can't even make it in the garbage can.
Right. We all made it.
Huh?
Everyone made it but you.
No,
I made it.
because
I
yeah,
made it the first try.
Yeah.
I made it the third.
third.
Uh-uh.
Yeah.
You. No, you didn't.
You missed the side.
No, I missed the, no, I made it the second time.
Yeah.
Okay, but you ain't make it at all.
Because I don't want to keep trying. I tried.
You tried too much. Right.
There we go.
I don't know why y'all never do that one.
That's the only one.
Well, that is annoying.
I'm annoying. Why
And I
got
don't know
me
where we
every
get
day?
it from.
Look, so that.
I know.
How far are you guys apart?
3 years.
3?
And this personality hasn't changed since you were
Is it just a 2 years?
I have an older brother. He's coming to get us.
Hey, Bono.
He's coming to get us.
You work?
He just came to my
It's too open.
He has to go back next week. Right, well, this week.
Oh,
Yeah.
so you have to finish training and go back?
Yeah.
How much you paid?
He's going to Germany.
Oh. I mean, that's fun.
Minimum wage.
That's fine. Yeah.
That's enough.
He's gone for 4 years.
Wow.
So we're taking half,
You shoot.
basically half the class, because they have to leave class. I'm gonna.
Why'd you play?
Are you done? Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I can leave
You try.
Okay, well, later if you want.
She said no.
No. All means, take him. Take him.
I know sucks.
Because I didn't know that. Like, I knew the coach, but they only had returning players for 3 years.
I'm the only brother. I have two older brothers.
He's right.
Yeah, our freshman coach did, so.
He's got two buses and shoes.
Bro.
I don't know.
I know they played, bro.
Their
North
time.
Carolina put his head down in the high school.
Yeah, he needs.
Do
Did y'all lose? I mean. Okay.
I already split, but I still did.
It was a
I
crowd.
trouble like everybody
Yeah,
else.
my one.
You play for Holy Cross, especially not my group.
You got the
Not my
mustache.
group. Oh, like I went straight to Temple. But I was not. Girls, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But you got no legs.
What happens here if you start laughing? This is pretty cool. You just looking at me. What do I do there? Well, I like the night.
Josh, are you gonna play basketball for Wallace?
You the center? They either got Jonathan or somebody else.
No, I heard asking me that.
You're a fan.
Huh?
You're a fan. You didn't know.
They have, there's like, there's another
I
center.
put that, cause they're.
So,
What are you gonna do? Probably.
no, they,
He's gonna go project. He's not
Little
gonna
brother.
probably, he's not playing.
Oh, yeah.
Jonathan.
Don't worry,
got the sauce.
everybody is here.
I don't know.
You better help us
I'm
out,
not
get it
sure.
up. We're not scared of Joe. You're scared of Joe?
Huh?
You're scared of Joe?
Huh? Yeah.
Why? You know, the one fight, I'm scared.
Bring this up. You guys.
Or DB. I don't know if I'm because our rookies,
Sports,
they're
right?
kind of decent. I mean, the coach, I know the coaches are, DBC, like, he team
You just ran into a wall.
I didn't do this hard.
Yeah.
Of course.
But they're preseason, that the players don't play the preseason.
Oh, you feel like that.
Or they- Yeah.
Oh, we got chicken?
I'm just doing the voice, it's gonna be nice.
Nah, I had a beef taco.
Where?
There's one with mad grease on it.
Who believes that?
Huh?
Who believes that? Can you just see him on
That's tender. This is. And
Because the
this
The ones that feel heavy.
We're gonna get started in like 1 minute. Un momento.
Have you ever been on those? That's the ticket.
I think that might be the
Right, I just thought
best.
agree.
But not yet.
And I agree, yeah.
Alright, we good? Oh, ran out of stop.
Tomatoes are good.
I know, whoever thought about it was amazing.
You don't like nothing.
Yeah, I'm picky, but
Tomatoes,
That's not what I'm saying.
first of all, tomatoes are fruits, and they're amazing. On every,
You eat tomatoes with salt.
but who?
Salt.
I think effort. I know it's younger.
She does.
Tomatoes inside is so good. I know it's younger.
Yo, my kids used to just go in there. We used to buy like the little grape potatoes. Yeah, there you go. Tomatoes. And we would just wash them. They would go in there and eat them like grapes.
Oh yeah, I did that. I eat vegetables all the time. I love it.
Yeah. All right, let's go.
Peppers though.
Oh, I love peppers.
Peppers is
Especially yellow
Alright,
ones.
eat
The yellow ones, I love.
Yeah. I had a coworker that used to like bring bell potatoes, and he would just eat them like.
Tomatoes.
I said potatoes. Oh, peppers.
You said tomato.
Yeah, he used to get the red bell peppers and eat them like apples.
Look at that.
You can put cream cheese on it too.
I know, but ours is-
Like stuffed shells, I
So,
get, but like.
Yeah, I don't even like stuffed
shells.
You ready?
But I love Domino's.
I know you're not just cheese and beef.
All right, phones away.
What's wrong with you?
Open your books back.
Yeah, you can eat in this knowledge too.
What are you doing? Feeding our brains.
Mm-hmm.
Who's laughing at that?
Exactly. Like, go to steak.
All right, so we're gonna talk about bonds. Has anyone ever heard of the saying, "Yo, my word is my bond"?
Yeah.
Man. Every time I ask that, no one's ever heard of it.
I just said, yeah.
Oh, just one person, yeah, in like 100 classes.
She feel good.
So a bond is a security issued by a corporation or a public body, and usually carrying a fixed rate of interest and a set date called the bond's maturity for redemption on the principal. It's a lot, right? Well, let's break it down. So a bond is a promise to pay at a certain date in the future with a certain interest rate. That's all a bond is, right? It's a promise to pay at a certain date in the future with a certain interest rate. So let's break this down. So, the city of Bridgeport would like to build a new skate park. You guys skating here? If there's a skate park, would you go?
It looks like you should go get a shoe.
Right?
Well, imagine.
I went to
Which
college.
gate I will imagine.
Never mind.
I
See?
used to, I taught myself how to like rollerblade,
Uh-huh.
and then I had,
I swear to God.
like my old parents taught me technique, but now I grind.
So,
No, that's fine.
For 90
but,
you should go around school and skates.
I don't got it.
okay.
I should have went up the stairs, you know, literally, like from calf to fourth floor, oh no.
All right, so, again, so the city of Bridgeport would like to, again, build a skate park, but they don't have all the money to do so, right? So they bring it to the town council, and they decide, hey, you know, the best way to raise the money is to issue bonds, right? So in order to raise the money, they're gonna issue bonds, and they will issue these bonds for anyone to buy. anyone in Bridgeport, anyone in Connecticut, anyone in the world could buy these bonds, right? So each bond costs $1,000, right? So they're gonna purchase, you can purchase one bond for $1,000. Bridgeport is guaranteeing, because Bridgeport is a city, right? So it's an entire city, so they're guaranteeing that in 10 years, they will pay you your initial investment back of the $1,000 because you purchased the bond for $1,000. And on top of the $1,000, they're going to give you 10% interest. So, which is $100. So in 10 years, your bond is going to be worth $1,100, right? Is that a lot of money? Of interest, I should say.
Yeah. Is it 10% per year?
No, it's within the maturity date is 10 years, and in 10 years you're going to receive 10%. So that's what they're saying.
In 10 years, you're gonna get $1,100.
So when you sell the bond back to Bridgeport, you're going to receive.
That is not good.
Exactly, but that's the thing. Bonds are safe investments because you're not going to make a lot of money on it, but you're going to make your money. Unlike stocks, which are risks, because you can lose all your money in a stock. The only way you lose all your money in a bond, in this type of bond, is if the city of Bridgeport goes broke, which Connecticut is not going to let that happen, right? So, but what if you had enough money to buy like 10 bonds, right? So you spent $10,000, and then you get $1,000 back on your investment.
Do you have to wait that 10 years?
Yep, you have to wait the maturity year. You have to wait the
10
maturity.
years is a long time.
Well, they're safe bonds, but again, this is just an example, because you could buy some bonds for like $10, right? Or $50 or $100, right? So in this example, we just used 1,000. But back in the days, this is how a lot of like grandparents used to fund their kids like college, right? They would take out these bonds for their grandkids, and then when their grandkids get of age, they would hand them these bonds. Grandkids would cash out these bonds and get like now hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I'm just saying, you're putting in $1,000 and you're only getting 100.
In this example, yes.
Ew.
So, but again, that's another form of investing. It may not be the most flashiest form, but it's safe, right? So that's what bonds are.
You have one?
No.
Oh.
Now, mutual funds. Mutual funds is where compound interest comes into play. So a mutual fund is an investment vehicle made up of a pool of monies collected from many investors for the purpose of investing in securities such as stocks, bonds, money market instruments, and other assets, right? So what a mutual fund is think of this. If you who likes athletic wear in here? Almost everyone, because all y'all got some form of athletic gear on, right? So if you like athletic wear and you don't want to buy each company individually, right? You can always find a mutual fund that has all the companies you like in that one fund. So what does this mean, right? And then you
Foot Locker and stuff?
close.
Those that have like Nike and...
Well, yeah, so Foot Locker sells everything, right? They sell Vans, they sell Nike, they sell Feli, they sell, well, that's Nike. Huh? Champion, yeah, my bad. They sell all those, right? So mutual funds do this. So if you like Nike, Reebok, Adidas, Feli, and Puma, right? Right now, if you were to purchase stocks, you would have to purchase stocks in each of these companies individually, right? And that could end up being like $350, right? If you were to purchase stocks in each of these companies individually. That's the total amount that you would pay out.
Wait, for each one $350?
Well, combined. So Nike may be 100, Reebok may be like 75, Adidas, and so on and so forth, right? But with a mutual fund, you can find a mutual fund that has all these companies in it, and other sportswear companies. Under Armour might be in this, right? Or Champion may be in it, right? And just to get into that one mutual fund, you just pay $175. So you have more companies, right? And it's less risk and it's less money to get into than actually purchasing each of these companies individually.
So like sneaker shops? So like sneaker shops?
Well, I mean,
So like different stuff. Like
well, yeah, so that's just, but if they're selling you stuff, that's not investing, you just buy it, right? So this is you investing your money, right? You paying money so that the goal is for you to make a lot of money in the end, right? So you want to make your 175 be like worth $75,000, right? At some point in the future, right? So how do you invest? So if I gave you $1,000 right now and said, here, go invest this one, what would you do?
I don't know.
You can go to Robinhood, yep. So number one, invest in companies you know. Would you invest in a company you've never heard of before?
No.
Does that make any sense?
No.
Right? Because you never heard of this company. You don't know what they're about, right? So if you're a beginning investor, invest in companies you know. Invest in companies you already support and wear, right? Who has Snapchat?
Me.
Who has stock in Snapchat?
Me.
No, you don't.
What? You
Stop.
barely get money. Like,
Why you bring up my money?
you mean, you heard him say stocks, right?
Oh,
So, exactly, that's what I'm saying.
I thought you said Snapchat.
So,
No,
So-
He's just lying.
that's what I'm saying. So, we all got Instagram, right? Instagram, Facebook owns Instagram, right? But who has any Facebook stock in here? I see Nike on, right?
That's you.
Who owns any stock in Nike, right? So we're consumers right now, but we're not investors, right? So, for instance, Snapchat, right? I purchased Snapchat at $10 a share. Snapchat is worth over like $60 right now. So right there, that's a profit of $50.
But how do they get money if you don't even have to pay for the ad?
How we advertise it,
Oh.
and they sell all your information. All right, so next, so you find a company you like, say you like Nike, right? Then you have to, this is as easy as going to Google and look up the stock ticker symbol, right? So for example, Nike is NKE and Amazon is AMZN, right? This is important because if you like a company and you put in a wrong stock symbol, you could be purchasing a whole different company that you don't even know about, right? So it's very important that and it's as simple as go to Google and put in what is Nike stock ticker symbol. And they'll tell you. Does the company offer dividends? Does anyone know what dividends are?
I heard.
Dividends are one of the most important things in this entire lesson. Dividends are a portion of the company's profit they pay to you. So for instance, earlier when I asked, how do you make money off of a stock? If your stock goes from $1,000 to $100,000, how do you make money on it?
I'm not raising my hand.
Oh, this is an anyone question.
Say that again?
By selling it. The only way you can make money is by selling it, right? But what dividends offer is you can actually keep the stock without selling it, and the company would actually pay you profit, right? So a lot of investors get into companies that offer dividends because you can hold on to your stocks, right? And then the company will pay you. So you don't even have to sell your stock and the company will pay you, right? So 4, use a broker to purchase the stock you want. Now, who said Robinhood? So Robinhood is a broker. All right, ladies, see you next week.
I'm a dumb person.
You're part of that. Yes, you're right. You can be anything you want to
Bye.
be. Laters.
Bye.
All right, so
I can be homies.
all right, you have to use a broker, right? You can't just walk to Wall Street and say, hey, give me this stock, right? You can't do that, right? You have to use a broker. Just like if you want to buy a house, you have to use some type of real estate agency, all right? or some type of real estate broker, right? So some brokers are Robinhood, E-Trade, TD Ameritrade, Stockpile, Webull, and Cash App. Do you know that you can purchase stocks on Cash App? Does anyone in here have Cash App?
Need them, I find it. Yeah, I got it.
So on Cash App, you can actually purchase cryptocurrency and you can purchase stocks. Now, someone asked earlier, well, so the only thing is you have to be 18 years old or older in order to set up an account to trade stocks, or your parents would need to sign up and add you as an authorized user, and then you're able to purchase stocks.
Is that a custodial account?
Yeah, correct. Yep. Now, someone said earlier, like Amazon, right? Because Amazon stocks are a lot right now, right? Let's say they're like $6,000. Who in here has $6,000 to just spend on an Amazon stock? No one, right? But do you know that you could buy portions of stocks? You don't have to buy it in full, right? So say if you had $100, you can take your $100 and put it into Amazon, right? You don't have a full share, but you have a percentage, right? Whatever that $100 breaks down to, that's what percent owner you are in Amazon, right? And yes, you will continue to make money when Amazon stocks goes up. And you can always build up to that $6,000 so that you can actually have one full share in Amazon. So you can do that. Why's your book not? What you mean you forgot? All right, so now these are stock market terms, right? Bullish and bearish, right? So bearish means it's a seller's market, right? So right now the real estate market is a bearish market, right? Because the sellers in real estate right now are banking. They're making money, right? And what this means is that the sellers are in control of the market, right? That means that right now that the sellers can literally ask for whatever price they want in a sense, and they can get it, right? Because it's their market. Bullish means that it's a buyer's market. So the buyers are in control of this market. Now, whenever it's a buyer's market in real estate, that means that there's a lot of real estate on the market for people to choose from. When there's a lot of things for people to choose from, then it's a buyer's market, right? Because the buyers can say, I don't want to buy your house. There's 10 houses down the road that I can go look at and I can haggle the price. But when it's a seller's market, that means that there's not a lot of real estate on the market, which means that the sellers can say, well, I want you to pay $10,000 over what I'm asking for. And there's not that much property on the market, so where are you going to go, right? If you want to have a house, you're going to have to buy it, right? In a sense, right? So that's the difference between being bullish and bearish. So if you guys ever hear those terms, you'll know what it means. All right, so what is simple interest? So simple interest is interest on the principal amount only. So it's interest on the principal amount only. Do we know what principal means? Principal means it's the starting balance or the beginning amount you put in. So if you put $1,000 in an account, what's the principal amount? $1,000. If you put $10,000 in an account, what's the principal amount? 10,000, because that's the amount that you put in, your beginning amount. And here we go, what I just said. Now, so again, compound interest is interest on the principal amount only. Simple interest is interest on the principal amount only. Now, compound interest is interest on the principal amount and on the interest. So compound interest is on the principal amount and on the interest.
Do you guys think that makes a difference?
Which one would you rather have?
Simple interest.
So you would rather have simple interest is just interest on the principal amount only, or compound interest, which is interest on the principal amount and on the interest. Compound. And we're gonna go to a graph that's gonna demonstrate why compound interest is the best route to go. So this is the best form of building long-term interest. So Albert Einstein once said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Now it sucks if you have to pay compound interest, because that means you're gonna have to pay a lot of money, right? All right, so let's look at this graph. Can everyone see this graph? It's actually in your book too. So this graph shows simple interest and how it works on a 10-year basis, and compound interest, how it works on a 10-year basis. So Bob walks into a bank and decides that he wants to put $10,000 in an investment account, right? But this investment account only grows with simple interest. And every single year that his money's in this account, he's gonna get 10% on his money. So year one, Bob leaves the $10,000 in the bank. 10% of $10,000 is $1,000, right? So every single year, Bob is only gonna get an extra $1,000 in his account. So after 10 years, Bob has gotten simple interest in total of $10,000, $1,000 for each year, right? So at the end of 10 years, Bob's initial $10,000 that he put in the account is now worth $20,000, right? Is that good? Yeah, exactly. He doubled his money, right? Went from $10,000 to $20,000, right? Now, Rachel, because Rachel went to my class, right? So Rachel knows about compound interest. So Rachel goes into the bank and she opens an account, but she is telling them, listen, I want my money to grow compounding. I want it to compound over time. So Rachel puts the same $10,000 in the account, the beginning balance. So year one, Rachel's 10% of the principal amount, which is $10,000, she gets $1,000 interest, right? Now look at year two. How come in year two, her interest is $1,100 instead of $1,000? Where did the 10% go? Where was the 10% calculated off of? Was it calculated off of the $10,000, or was it calculated off the new balance of $11,000? The new balance? Exactly, the new balance. So again, because remember, compound interest is on the principal amount and on the interest. This is the principal amount, this is the interest. That's the new total. So the 10% is going to be on the new total that has both the principal amount in it and the interest. So now that 10% is on the $11,000. Year two, that 10% is off the $12,100. So it keeps growing and growing. And have you ever had a snowball and rolled it down a hill? What happens to the snowball? It gets bigger. That's what compound interest does. And as you can see, Bob's $1,000 in simple interest, it just stays consistent, $1,000. But Rachel goes from $1,000, $1,100, $1,210, $1,331, $1,464. It keeps growing, compounding, right? So at the end of 10 years, instead of Rachel having only $20,000 in her account, she has $25,937, which means that she has $5,937 more dollars in her account than Bob did. And all she did was just open an account that had compound interest instead of simple interest, right? And over time, Rachel was going to leave Bob in the dust. Rachel's going to be a millionaire before Bob even becomes, $500,000, right? Because that's how compound interest grows. So have you guys ever heard of, what would you rather? $1 million today, like I just give you $1 million right now, like boom, right? Or a penny a day doubled for 30 days. So 1 penny a day doubled for 30 days. What would you rather have? So, what would you rather have? 1 penny a day, what would you rather have? A mil? What would you rather have? A mil? What would you rather have? A penny, right? So, go on your phone, go on Google, right? And put in a penny a day double for 30 days. And then tell me what the end result of that is. Yes?
He dropped out.
It said 5,300,000.
It's not garbage.
It jumped on 5,300,000.
Oh, not him.
So a penny a day double for 30 days is over $5 million. Oh, now you choose a penny. But that's compound interest. That's the power of compound interest. It may seem small at the beginning, but over time, it doubles and it quadruples and it triples and it just keeps growing and growing, right? So if you think of compound interest like that penny a day doubles every day for 30 days, you're thinking, oh man, I just left $4 million on the table. Because all you, in your mind, you were just thinking about the bigger number, but you weren't thinking about the process. And that's what compound interest is, right? And so that's why it's important, especially because you guys are young now, when you start working to get, and we're going to talk about retirement, but you want to start your retirement plan once you start working, right? Because that's how you're going to get that compound interest. And I'm telling you, because you're young, by the time you guys hit 40, you're going to have 6 to 7 figures in your bank account, right? Because of compound interest, and if you invest, in your retirement properly, which we're going to talk about that next class. All right, so everyone turn to page 30. Give you 5 minutes to do your quiz, and then we'll review it. Then what? We'll review it, and then it's time to go.
You trying to get out of here?
I know, you ain't supposed to be happy because of that. You're supposed to say, we want another lesson.
Yeah, I want another lesson.
Eat the food, eat the snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yep. You're done. I said it. You're going to see a lot of domestic abuse when you review the tape.
Really?
Yeah. She attacked me a few times.
I was going to say, I know it was her on mute.
Mm-hmm. It's always like that in the Reed household.
He's antagonizing.
Yeah, try that with the judge.
Right? We got the film. I was like, no, oh no, oh no, oh no. That's what I was saying. Gotcha. Do something in your life.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I guess
They
they.
have to go. Her brother's going off to Germany.
Which one?
Killer,
They got another brother?
older brother, he came back from the military, army.
Your quiz on page, what page? 30. I'll give you some time to take.
These tacos?
Who wants taco to go?
You do? There's 3 of them here, so I'll leave them and you're gonna take them, so. I guess they were a hit.
Oh, yeah, they have.
Tacos is always a hit.
They
Huh?
were good.
You want some fruit snacks?
If it's not in there, we have plenty in the office. How about sodas? So with those 2 you want?
Who wants fruit snacks?
You also.
Your brother eat fruit snacks?
So they're taking those tacos.
I'm gonna see you eat by the end of this class.
Why?
You know, I've never seen you eat. You don't eat.
He eats before he comes. You heard that? You don't understand.
What?
Yeah, I have. They didn't eat that on me.
And
Don't he?
You can still.
no chips, right?
You can still snack. You messed up.
Yeah, exactly. Yo, he's saying you can snack. That's it.
That's one good.
It is good.
17 Why? I did. I did.
All right, who wants to do number 1? Say, yeah, go ahead.
I'll do number 3.
All right, number 1.
What are stocks? I said C and foreign business,
Why does everyone pick that?
or is it single ownership?
Correct.
Because you made it tricky.
So stock is single ownership in a business. Yes, I want him because you answered. You say you wanted to. All right, number 2. Yes. What letter was that?
C.
C is correct. Who said number 3?
What is compound interest? And increase in principal amount and on interest.
Correct. A is correct. 4.
The reason why I want to do that is because I already know we got a long so. Did you use B?
No, I chose A.
You wrote
4.
So it's all for me though.
Alright. Where did you find that? Put a promise to pay with a fixed rate?
Those are bonds. Anyone knows what number 4 is? Go ahead.
What are mutual funds, ownership in many different companies?
Correct. Ownership, and the giveaway in that is mutual, right? When it's mutual, it's many. Go ahead, number 5.
What is simple interest on the principal?
Yes.
No question.
I got. He got it right though. All right, good job, everyone. So yeah, we're done now. So we finished a little early, like 5 minutes. You guys can leave your white books, and yeah, have a great week.
No.
Guys, be safe.
What do we have?
Yeah, what y'all want for lunch next week?
I got,
Barbecue?
what?
Barbecue?
What did you guys have last week?
We have
They-
Subway.
Oh yeah, did they have something?
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
What's on
Chinese? Barbecue Chinese.
What do you mean barbecue though? You have to be more specific.
My dad would be at the barbecue.
Huh?
My dad at the barbecue.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
Okay.
You get whatever.
Does Warren knows about it? All right, well, let him know. All right.
Oh, it's here, right? Did I say this before?
Yeah, you definitely did. All right, so I'll tell Warren. I'll probably get some chicken and stuff. Is this yours?
No, that's,
Oh, big head boy. Look. Yeah.
Oh, yes, take those.
Take them all.
Take them both.
Yeah, it's 3 of them.
Is it free?
Yeah, you good?
I'll take one.
I'll take
Take
it.
them all.
Because they just gonna throw them away.
Yes.
good one.
You too.
Alright, bro.
Be safe.
Yeah, you too. Joshua left his, yeah, you already know, the middle schoolers,